Look at that. It says that we're live.
We are live. So I'm gonna.
You?
Are you TikToking?
I'm just about to hit the go live button on TikTok. I just want the interface to finish loading here. It takes a little while, believe it or not. It's a big program.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. How is Sean? How is Canada?
Well, it is busy here. The snow is sort of melting. And I say sort of because it's not really melting as fast as anybody would like it to melt.
Ah,
You know, oh, looks like I'm frozen.
yeah, it does. Let me just refresh you. Everybody hold their horses.
No, I think this one is me.
Ah, well, I can't see you at all now.
Hang
You've
on.
disappeared. I can still hear you though, Sean. This is the joys of live. If you are just tuning in. Mm. If you refresh your screen, Sean, see if that helps. I'll bring it up on my end as well, just so I can see what's going on. So yeah, it's been an interesting week for the world of hypnosis. The Danish hypnosis conference has just come to an end. That looked like it was really successful. Some great people and friends were presenting and performing there, so that was good. Hypno news. Mm-mm. There we go. It says we're live. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So that's all good. So we'll just wait for Sean to pop back in. Uh, he will be there at some point. So yeah, it's an interesting world in the world of hypnosis. I've just been watching Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends, which is weird because I saw it years ago, but so interesting to rewatch it and see kind of on one level how far we've come as hypnotists, and on another level how far things are just exactly the same. But it was so interesting again to see Marshall Silver, how different he looks then compared to now. Um, but yeah, just some really interesting characters on there. So yeah, that was really good. And what else is happening? We've got the Irish Hypnosis Conference coming up in a few weeks' time, probably just over a month. And we have. I'll just hide Sean until we can get him back. Um, yeah. So we've got Irish Hypnosis Conference in a little month. Heartland Hypnosis Conference. Let's see if I've actually got that on a link here as well. Uh, 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 nope. Speaker applications for the Michigan conference. That is live now. There's only a few more days left to get your speaker submissions in for that. Dan is doing a fabulous job with this conference. And again, like I said, we've got Heartland Hypnosis Conference coming up as well in, again, 4 weeks' time ish. That should be fantastic. Have we got Sean back yet? I don't know if we have. I was just looking on my live. Yeah. Um, Sean, if you're there, I know he's there somewhere. He's busy working away in the background. I'm just going to refresh my live just see if that brings him back in. Yeah, so no, that's not worked. So yeah, Michigan conference, that's really cool. As we're talking about Michigan, we could probably bring up as well that a couple of things with Michigan. If you are a past attendee of PHS, Dan has done a fantastic deal on your tickets for the Michigan conference. So do make the most of those now whilst you can. He's offering a fantastic discounted rate. If you were at PHS, not just this year, but previous years, then you get a discounted rate for the Michigan Hypnosis Conference in Detroit, which is very generous of him. It's kind of working together as those kind of conference organisers. And our very own Sean has just been accepted into the North America Hypnosis Guild as well, which is really cool. Which kind of shows the work that he is doing in the world of hypnosis as well. So that's cool. What else have we got going on? Really great news this week to see Salish has just won again, the Hypnotist of the Year at APCA and the Entertainer of the Year for I think the Entertainer of the Year, it's the fourth year he's won that, and Hypnotist of the Year is his 8th year winning that. So that is absolutely fantastic news. Well done, Salish, on doing that. And again, they say success leaves clues. That's absolutely right. He does work incredibly hard, and so that is well deserved. So yeah, I can't believe I've lost John. He is about in the ether somewhere. Did you guys manage to catch the Hypnosis Hero podcast last night with Steve Falcon? Steve, a fabulous hypnosis entertainer, general good guy as well. And so that is a must watch. And do check out the previous episodes of the Hypnosis Hero podcast. There's some real great hypnotists that have given up their time and energy for that. So that's always a great thing there. I just saw movement in my. Oh, look who is here. There we go. He is here. Sean, how are you? Oh, I can see you, but I can't hear you now. Hit it with a hammer, Sean. It must be a day for tech things. So earlier on today, I had some tech issues where my microphone wasn't working. Managed to get that sorted, and then a new bit of kit that I ordered for another live stream I do wasn't working. And so sometimes there is gremlins in the system. I will say this, a lot of people use these mistakes on lives as an excuse to not go live, but it's kind of the thing that makes lives authentic. Both myself and Sean, we are, I think it's fair to say, fairly experienced live streamers. And so when things go wrong, we continue on. Isn't that right, Sean?
That's correct. How's that?
Oh, and we've got audio as well. Brilliant. That was timed perfectly. I thought, is he going to be able to respond? He responded. There we go.
Here's the kicker of the whole thing. There's a scene in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, where Admiral Kirk, the Enterprise just got the shit kicked out of it because, it is what it is, right? So he puts his glasses on and he starts formulating the plan how they're going to get away from the Reliant, so that they could, live to fight another day, so to speak. And he mutters something that is so utterly profound that I think it's lost on most people. He's chastising a young lieutenant who's trying to learn, and he says, "You have to learn why things work the way they do." And he's flipping buttons, and of course, the Enterprise lowers the enemy vessels' shields, and they blast away at it, and then they get away from it. But that's a profound statement right there. That and another statement when they're in the turbo lift, and he says, "We learn by doing."
Yes.
If you never step out to do a live because of issues like this, you'll never learn how to get around them.
Yeah.
It just so happened that I happen to have a second laptop here, and it plugs in nicely with the system that I bought, because I bought a thing that it's literally one plug, and I'm on my new Neo on the different laptop. After this, what am I going to have to do? I don't know, something with BitLocker and a few other weird things, but we'll make it work. That's what we do.
Yeah. So I upgraded my. I'm not in my studio again this week, but I upgraded my studio this week, and so it's got its own dedicated Mac Mini, big monitor, multiple cameras. I kind of thought, you know what, I'm supposed to be a streamer. Let's actually upgrade it a little bit. But in the usual Grant style, I did this, and I'm an optimist, so I believed I had so much more time to get this done. And I had a live stream starting for Be Live at 7:30 last week. At 7:20, I'd still not booted this system up. And when I booted it up, it wouldn't recognize any of the cameras. And I
Oh,
thought, I'm going live in 3 minutes. And so literally pulled the laptop out, opened it up, and just went to the backup. So it's always good to be prepared.
always have a backup. Yep.
Always have a backup. And I think it's the same with my show. I have spare cables, I have spare connectors, I have my music on a USB drive, on my phone, on an iPod, on my laptop.
Yep.
So the joys of going live is great, but you've always got to have a backup.
One of the things that I will say that was different this year with our show in Yorkton from last year was I actually had working sound, but I also made sure that I would have a backup, to
Mm.
the iPad, and had the music on the laptop that I had with me, and everything else. So, you know, having those things as backup, it's not. Yeah, does it add extra weight? Does it add extra time? It does, but in situations like this, it's the difference between me coming back on the live or me doing the show with sound versus not. You know.
Yes, and it's the peace of mind that it gives you when I'm on stage. I want everything to be in autopilot as much as possible, so I can concentrate on the show.
Yeah, because
And so,
there's a million things that you're managing and adjusting on the fly, right?
yes, and I want to be able to, if it's the sound's not working, I want to be able to switch it as quickly as I possibly can, and have done many times in the past where I've had to mid-show change from my iPod to my phone um, mid-show, and it's not the smoothest transition, but it's so much better than the music stopping and nothing happening.
Yeah,
And again, it shows an authenticness that audiences appreciate.
yeah, and stuff is going to happen. So
Yes,
it can happen with you or without you. If you never step out, it will never happen with you.
yes, yes, very true. So many people wait for, and we talked about it last week, I think. But was it perfect? Imperfect action beats perfect intent.
Yeah.
And I think it is so true. But yeah, talking about a few things. I did rattle through a few things in your absence, Sean. I'll go through them again. Um, but yeah, the Michigan Hypnosis Conference, their speaker submissions are open, and I think there's 19 days left to get the speaker submission in,
Okay.
which is cool. And Salish has got his APCA. I think that's the right thing. Hypnotist of the Year and Entertainer of the Year, which is really cool. And you are the latest member of the Northern.
North American Hypnotherapy Guild.
There we go. So that is cool.
Yep, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure I
Um,
got it in the right order.
yes. Yeah. And obviously, speaker submissions are open for PHS as well.
And we
Uh,
mentioned that last night as well on the Hypnosis Hero podcast. Listen,
fantastic.
the faster that we get speaker submissions in, the faster we can get the schedule locked, as Dan would say.
Locked. Locked.
Yeah,
I love it.
the great thing is we're doing this now because we want to make absolutely certain that we have lots of time to promote the conference. I know, at the end of the conference last year, I had mentioned to everybody, tell 5 or 10 people about the conference, and not necessarily just your friends and buddies. Like if you see somebody who's just jumping into stage hypnosis, or they're struggling, or there's something that you think they could learn, you know,
Absolutely.
tell them about the conference. And when once we have our speaker submissions set up, if each speaker brought 5 people, we would actually probably run out of rooms really, really quick at the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the room block that's open as well now, so you can get your rooms sorted at a discounted rate, and we got a better rate this year than we got last year, so that's really good. So yeah, all is good.
Yeah,
Oh, we're pretty sure that's
it's
an
like it's late
unexpected
there.
yawn then. Yeah. So yeah, all is good. Um, yes, you have your next hypnosis hero guest
Yep.
lined up.
So we have the always funny Jesse Lewis, straight shooter from Saskatchewan, fellow Saskatchewanian. Say that fast 3 times, Grant.
Yes.
Jesse and I live about, I don't know, 4 hours away from each other. And the first time I actually met Jesse in person was at PHS 2 years ago. Last year, of course, Jesse was also an online presenter as well. And I know from the feedback that we got in both instances that the topics that Jesse talks about are absolutely necessary. I know Jesse's also very much involved in the International Stage Hypnosis Association. He leads one of the Tuesday sessions.
Yeah.
And so he's got lots going on. He's got a huge ad campaign out right now. And so I want to talk about how he's kind of structured that with him.
Yeah.
And he and I talked a little bit about some of the behind the scenes things, like how a CRM handles some of the incoming requests for quotes and things of that nature. So he is a wealth of information. He's been a hypnotist for 20 years now, I believe it is. It's just
Yeah.
20 this year. So yeah, there's a perfect example of somebody who is making a go of it, getting things done,
Yes.
sharing the wealth because he's got the experience and he's got the know-how behind the scenes on how he's doing things.
And he's doing it right, and he doesn't do it. There's no ego, It's just is in the trenches, he's doing the work, and he's doing it well.
Yeah.
Automated systems, good price for shows. He's not lowballing. He's busy. He's doing it right, and is always happy to share information, if you know what I mean, which is fantastic.
Well,
So yeah,
and you don't find that everywhere.
no,
Steve Falcon was our guest last night. If you missed the actual live cast, go back and have a look at it. Steve's got some phenomenal stories and some very intriguing. What's the word I want to use? Some very intriguing stories about being in Vegas and whether or not that's a help or a hindrance.
yeah,
And the one thing that I think I took away from Steve is composure, regardless of the situation, regardless of
yeah,
what's happening. Nothing, and certainly nothing that Brian asked rattled him that much last night. I mean, we did talk a little bit about the fact that we want it to be more interesting than the Canadian politics, and
yes,
we've got a channel here called CPAC, which is our Canadian politics, Canadian Political Affairs Canada, or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Long story short, he had a nice little cricket sound effect for that. So
nice, nice. I must admit, I've got the Roadcaster. We should start adding sound effects to the stream.
yep, yep. Well, that's what he was using. So
Yeah,
he was just back from being in Vegas for a couple of weeks and did a performance in Raleigh the night before and rolled in and did the podcast with Brian and I. So
nice, nice. I'm surprised Brian's not around tonight, so he might be up to no good. One feature I would like to bring back from next week actually is the books. So I've actually just been going through my some of my other books. So I've got a couple of shelves here, some downstairs and some at my office. And I don't look at this shelf very often, but there's some corkers on there which I'm gonna reread. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of some of the books that I read when I first started out, and see if I agree or disagree with them, which will be
Well,
interesting.
and you mentioned off the top, how different Marshall Silver looks now, and we were all much younger back then. But
Yeah,
when you think about um, how much knowledge we've accumulated as a profession,
yeah,
I often explain to people who are new. So I will be teaching a class with the research project that I'm involved with, and the first couple of classes of Hypno Ed are basically, I call it the personalities of
mm,
hypnosis, because everybody had their take, everybody had a big ego, and when they were wrong, things would come to a head. So as we step through, the different levels of knowledge that we've gained, all the way through to modern times, yeah, it's quite obvious that it went from being something very magical and mystical to something that is a lot more scientifically, uh, you know, verified.
yeah. It's weird how happenstance, I think, is the correct word. How things kind of come around. And like I say, I was looking at this. I was looking at. I'll show the book. The book looks a lot more intriguing than what it is, and that's Secrets of the Voice. And what stood out for me, this is again, it's about how we use our voice and connect everything. But I remember looking at the author and thinking that name sounds familiar. And it turns out that the hypnotist and mentalist that wrote this book also is the guy or partner, um, colleague of the guy who runs Be Live and actually runs a service called Logi, which is specifically designed software for Amazon influence and live selling. And I then realized that the guy that I speak to for Logi for the Amazon influencer program is the same Ehud that wrote this book. And I was like, oh my god, I never put two and two together. And it's weird that we can both be in the live streaming and hypnosis slash mentalist world and have known each other in separate worlds for so long and the same world. And
Yeah,
so it was. I just sent him a message earlier, like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Wow." So yeah, small world.
surprise.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a reread of that, and I'm going to feature that in next week's show as well. So I think you should pick. We should both pick a book of the week.
That means I got to buy some books.
Are you a book guy?
I used to be a big book guy.
Yeah.
Now I'm more of a, what? Give me the digital version of the book, and I will rip it apart with AI and learn everything I need to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. AI is so good for being able to input information and go, right, tell me what I need to know from this takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can be really specific with some of the AIs. Others, you have to kind of fight with them a little bit to make sure you get the right information. But not that I'm a huge fan of Google, but Notebook LM seems to be one of
yeah,
those things that if you are used to asking questions, you could put the book into Notebook LM and then ask questions about the book and the chapters, and you can do your exploration that way.
yeah,
You're just looking for something very direct. ChatGPT, Perplexity. Well, Perplexity if you're going to do any kind of research, but
yeah.
ChatGPT, Claude, any of those will give you a bullet point form of this is what was in the book.
A friend of mine's trying to get me to go more into Claude, but I'm like, I'm so deep into ChatGPT now to then go into, you know,
Well, then the kicker is apparently with the Perplexity license, you get ChatGPT and Claude
uh,
and Grok and a whole bunch of other things. I haven't. We'll talk about it after, but I haven't. I'm seriously debating for the same roughly the same price as ChatGPT if we have the same functionality, because I want to get into building some agents for my business, obviously.
mm,
And my considered opinion is if Perplexity has that, plus they have a better research base than ChatGPT, that
Yeah.
might be the way to go, especially if you want to write blog articles.
Yes. Yes. Cool. I think that is it for Hypno News this week.
So we've got all the AI recommendations, and
Mm.
we're now AI influencers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you've got all the book recommendations. We're going to be book influencers. Man, I don't know. Was there anything more that we can influence as hypnotists?
Well, yeah. We
Knowledge and
should.
wisdom.
Yeah. Knowledge and wisdom. Cool. Guys, have a fantastic week, whatever you're doing. And don't forget, if you have anything coming up in the world of hypnosis, please do let us know. We'll happily showcase on here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, stay well, be awesome. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Dun, dun, dun.